Ladies and gentlemen, we are back for another review for The Penguin, episode 6. This show is literal dynamite. And we thought, episode 5 that Oz was down and out. Like the last thing his mother said is, how can a son not protect his own mother? And
Mhm.
shoot him away. And he kind of went through his old stuff and he saw like a little coin, and he basically took Victor down to some tunnels that him and his brothers used to go down. And there he was like, this is where we're going to build our operation. This is where we're going to shop and submit for Bliss. So episode 6, Busy, what did you think about it? I mean, like, we can kind of go over it. Definitely the highlights of the fact that Oz made a whole empire underneath the tunnels that he can route all that stuff anywhere to.
Yeah.
He got a brand new crew. He got the respect for
Mhm.
the freaking other gangs and brought them together to drink a beer with a dope monologue. But the other side of that is Sophia Falcone and Maroney are trying their best to take him down, and they're working together and thriving. And Sophia took a small little visit to Oz's girlfriend, and I thought she was gonna die.
Yeah.
But yeah, what did you think about the episode?
Um, as all the other episodes have been, I think this show has been fantastic. I've really enjoyed with what we've gotten so far. Um, Sophia is on she's on a vengeance tour. Like she is on some shit right now. Coming out fresh from the murder of the entire family. Of course, she means business. Changing the name to the what was it? The starts with the G, and I'm blanking out on it, but that does besides the point. It's the fact that she is trying to make a point, but at the same time she is trying to handle all of her previous like loose ends in a way. She doesn't. This is personal,
Yeah,
so to see her personally going out of her way to look for Oz and to do all these things, very, very, very fun stuff right there. And in this the world of Gotham, you can never know who to trust. So, being in a situation where she's asking certain girls, we have two of them straight up say, nope, we don't know who the hell that is. And then they walk away. It's like, fuck yeah. And then we get a situation where one of her main girls was like ready to rat her out. And immediately I'm like, nah, that can't be right, right?
right.
But then she's like, if you name the right price, and I'm like, maybe. And then you're right away. We're like, no, bro, like she's terrible. Like I can't believe she's doing this. Of course she's gonna rat her out. And of course everything was under Eve's like orders. So it
Yeah,
all kind of worked out the plan. But bro, I'm gonna be honest, I completely thought she was gonna be done. I thought she was a wrap. I thought it was a wrap. Sophia is such a wild card. I didn't
yeah,
expect for her to let her walk away, and the writing has been so interesting. What they've done with her Sophia's character just makes me, I don't know, I'm questioning everything because again, I would have never, if this was like any other show, I would have just assumed Eve was done. Like that's a wrap.
right.
The interaction between the two, the exchange of dialogue where they both kind of realize that they have been kind of used,
Yeah,
and that they both are kind of victims in a way. Obviously, I don't want to say that there was mutual respect, but there was an understanding. Really had me kind of like on edge, and specifically at the end where Eve fully expected to die, but when she realized what Sophia was doing, she told Sophia the truth. So she realized Sophia was just gonna walk away. She's like, you know what? You've earned this. I thought that's when Sophia was gonna turn. And again, this is just why I love the writing so much because I truly expected Sophia to be like, well, okay, so after all of this, you withheld that information. Bang! I thought that was a wrap, but there is just the world building here. It's just the many sides of Gotham have been just so great to see, and
yeah,
I just think that they're just doing a phenomenal job with this show. Like obviously, it stands on its own, but with the Batman, it just makes me so excited to see like little characters pop up. Now that we know, wait, that's that side of town. That means it's controlled by this person. This
right.
part of the town is controlled by this person. That person doesn't like us, so maybe they're going to be a little helpful. It's just all these little things are just getting me really, really excited for the future of this franchise. Whether it means season 2, 3, Batman 2, 3. It's just a lot to be excited for. They're doing a really good job with this.
Yeah, I think that's a really good starting point is the Eve and Sophia conversation because,
Mhm.
even though by design, like Eve was like, look, I put it this way because I figured you were coming from my head anyway. I just ask one thing: don't kill my girls. The weird thing about Sophia that I'm learning, and maybe she doesn't know it herself. I think she thinks she's more crazier than she makes everybody think she is. But I feel like Sophia has a code. I'm not really sure how to crack what that code is, but there's like a don't cross me, I won't cross you kind of thing. Like I'm gonna give you a chance, but if you cross me, I'm gonna kill you. And yet there are even people that have crossed her and she's heard them out. And I think that was make her such a very interesting character, because even when she was talking to Eve, she's like, oh, you're used to being able to talk to people and make them feel comfortable. This isn't going to work with me. But she still listened to her, down to the point that she was like wondering, did Oz divulge the information about what he did to her? Now, with that whole conversation, I was kind of like, I don't know where this is going to go, because there's two different lies going on. What he did to her, but then the other side of that is that I don't think Eve knew that Oz's mom was alive. I think that Oz kept that a secret too, because I don't think that Eve would have ever sold out Oz's mom, because at the end of the day, yes, she gave the location of where Oz could be, but I don't think that Eve knew that, because it was kind of like,
Yeah,
I really feel like that was something that, yet again, him lying put his own family at jeopardy, at risk, because he was trying to protect
but
his world, so to
I
speak.
truly think it's like a complicated situation because honestly, with the whole EU situation, I mean, she made that remark like Oz and I knew what this was. Like there was clearly some stuff there that was a question. It was a little complicated. Their whole relationship, their whole dynamic, super complicated. But I think the betrayal of her not knowing as much might have been kind of a problem, but at the same time, I it just like they're so complicated. I don't know. Like part of me believes if she knew that Ozzy's mom was alive, she'd be like, "Oh, he really kept this from me. Like this is the whole thing." She could have, betrayed him, but at the same time, since she made that remark, "Oh, we know what this is," she might have actually let it slide. So it's just one of those things where I feel like I don't know her character enough to decide what she would have done, and that's why I'm kind of questioning everything. Like, but so far, I mean, I know that when they do reunite, there's gonna be some beef there. There's gonna be some bad blood, and I'm really excited to see more of her character.
If there ends up being a season two, I think that'll be a very interesting, because she controls, well, not controls, but she has ties to the prostitution and the people that are going and doing the escort service and
Mhm.
stuff like that. So that's a whole nother side of the business.
A
Now,
lot more power than we think. And I wanna
well,
before you continue, it reminds me of Westworld. I don't know if you remember, some of the main characters. Westworld
Maeve, of
was
course.
yeah, yeah, I
Yeah.
wanted to
Yeah.
kinda lean into that, but she 100% reminds me of Maeve, um, who ends up being one of the most badass characters in the series. So,
Yeah.
realistically, I think that, she has a chance to become, higher up, and could be a real problem for Penguin given the right opportunity, of course.
Yeah, no, for sure. And I think the interesting thing too is Colin Farrell was in his bag this episode.
Oh my
He
god.
he this was his episode. If the past three episodes have been Sophia, these have been Colin Farrell's Penguin episodes, because when at the beginning of the episode, it was just so interesting how quick, just him thinking on the whim, was like, yo, I'm gonna make this work no matter what.
Mhm.
And he had everybody rally behind him. Like, he has people's respect. At the same exact time, he knows how to manipulate and push everybody.
Yep.
Because the beginning of the episode, I was like, we were wondering, like, how much time has passed? Couldn't have been that much. But he had an engineer, he had bodyguards, he had that thing rolling. And even with pushing the product out, he knew that Sophia and Maroney were going to kind of try to push him out. This man was like, bet they're going to go. Because I think, what did Sophia do? She started pressing them, and she killed a couple different folks just to kind of keep it off the market. Um, and it was kind of like, okay, I'm not sure how this is gonna work. But he was like, oh, well, we're just gonna sell it for free, and they're gonna have to listen no matter what. Like it's at the end of the day, if it's out there, people are gonna desire it. And he knows how people think and how they work. That's one of the things that makes him a mob boss, like we see him to be. But to me, what was more interesting is that beer passing on with the rest of the gangs. How did you think that was actually going to turn out? Because I really truly didn't know. I think that's one of the things I love about the show is that when he gets into these engagements or situations, you don't know if he's gonna botch it or he's gonna actually make it through. You just really don't know.
And that's the thing. I think that's what I really like about not only his character but the show as a whole. It's really highlighting the loyalty between certain characters. Where we have one of the triad members, not even he didn't drink until the end, but as soon as he drank, like before, right as soon as he drank the beer, the guy that literally brought them all together was like, okay, we're cool. And then he drank. Even though
Yeah,
he's the one who brought everyone together, he
yeah,
still wasn't going to go on Oz's team until he got the approval from his leader. And I do like that, like a majority of the people drank, except for the people that were extremely loyal to the head of the table. And he was clearly the one who was like calling all the shots because like all of his concerns were were clearly kind of valid to the rest of the crew because they were all
right.
making like certain expressions like, well, maybe this dude is right. And against their better judgment, they chose to, team up with Oz. And I still think, could be a problem. But I love the fact that some of these people aren't stupid. Like the fact that he said everyone that this dude teams up with, he betrays, like we can't be stupid enough to do this. Obviously, he ended up doing it, but still, I mean, he was saying everything right. But
Yeah,
Oz is just like this dude got the power, like the monologue. I don't know what the hell it is, but like he's just such a good manipulator, like the character as a whole. So it's just so cool to see him, kind of play with these people's heads and kind of get them on his team. It's like the fact that he's able to kind of manipulate what side they're on just because of how good of a talker he is just
yeah.
makes him such a cool character.
Yeah, I think that he uses the fact that he comes from absolutely nothing and he built this joint brick by
Mhm.
brick. Whatever he's gained, whether it was by force, by respect, by cheating, or by blunt force, he's done what he's done and he's
Mhm.
he's he's fine with it. And I think that the majority of them, how he sold them, he was like, you can call me a snake all day, but the people that are at the top, they don't even know your name and they're going to screw you the first chance they get. At the very least, you can say, I take ownership of what I've put in the work to do.
Mhm.
And they're not going to pay you for any of this. And I think that that's how he's won everyone. Everyone, like he's giving them like I'm giving you. I think you remember the first episode where Falcon's son was talking to him,
Okay.
and he was basically talking about like a guy that he looked up to. Like this guy had earned everybody's respect. He knew everybody's name. And I think that Falcon's son was like, asked him initially, like, can I be as good as my dad? And he was like, no, you can be better. Like you can be like this guy that earned everybody's respect. He knew everything that was going on. And I think Falcon's son, the reason why he got shot, because he was like, oh, this is who you want to be. This is who you're
Mhm.
trying to be. And like I think that that is true. He wants loyalty, he wants respect, he wants to make it work by any means necessary, no matter if he screws over somebody or puts somebody from nothing to the top. I mean, if you look at what he did for Victor, I mean, in all honesty, he said the first episode it would work in my favor to kill this kid, but he
No,
didn't.
yeah, and Victor's kind of development has been insane to see where he started up and to now he's like taking out dudes, punching them while they're down. He's carrying, like he's doing all these things that like he's developing fast. Like his character is going places, and it's scary considering some of the things that he might have done in this episode. And I'm just leading into that. I mean, the dude is
I
clearly
mean,
different
well,
than episode one Victor.
it's so interesting because even when he made his way last episode in 5 to bring Mrs. Cobb there, like
Mhm.
Penguin's mom there. He saw the guy. He tried his best to avoid him. Like, this is the guy that got him in this situation to begin with by trying to boost Oz's car.
Mm-hmm.
And so, you know, when he saw him again, like, he was like, oh, snap. But he knew what time he was on. Now, the beginning of the episode, we saw Victor packing. And I was like, we were sitting there anticipating, like, is he gonna just kill this guy? Like, is he gonna press him? Victor gave him time after time. He gave him chance after chance. And he straight up pressed him and was like, yeah, I know that you're taking care of Penguin's mom. I know you're working with Penguin. You need to give me what's mine. I was like, at this point now, you ain't giving the Victor a choice.
Yeah. And the fact that he was just being so aggressive about it too.
Yeah.
I mean, on top of having all this pent up, like all this anger kind of stored inside, like you're just pushing the wrong buttons. Like
Yep.
this dude literally gave up a good life to protect Oz, to stay with Oz, and he's not gonna let somebody that has been giving him a hard time for a long time step in the way of that. And to see him finally do it, because I was surprised he didn't do it sooner, was just extremely. It was different. It was different, but I mean, to see him kind of get his first kill, if you will.
Yeah.
Obviously, he's done
Well,
some sick
second
shit.
technically, but yeah.
Is it?
Yeah, remember he ran the dude over for Oz.
Shit, yeah, he did. Oh, that's sick. Yes, second. But to be like to actually get his hands dirty. To be
Yeah.
fair, he did get his hands dirty with Alberto. Because I mean, even though he was alive, I mean, even though he was dead, he still like was cutting his dude. You know, that's sick. But I don't know. To see how he was and to see how sick he was, and to see Oz comfort him the way he did was very, very interesting to me because it's no longer just Oz. He's not. It doesn't feel like he's using the kid. He genuinely cares for the kid, and it's been really, really interesting to see.
You know, this is gonna sound really weird, but I feel like what Oz is for Victor is what Batman is for Dick Grayson. I'm not even
Okay,
gonna lie, because the
I feel
thing
that.
about it, it's like when he was having that conversation with him, Oz like asked him like, "Are you okay? Are you okay?" And you know, he picked up and like, you know, is it that problem? And he didn't even ask him did he kill him or not. He's like, "It's fine. Like you're gonna be okay.
Yeah,
Like you did what you're supposed to do.
and he
You
just
took
knew
care
that.
of your family." And like he justified the means of what he did. And that's how Oz thinks. He's not looking at it from the ramifications that this kid's soul is slowly going away. Because as soon as he shot him, he was remorse. Like he was looking at it like, I can't believe I did this. And then he was hard and pent up. But this is the thing that was so interesting. Even though Oz gave him some really messed up advice, he gave him a hug.
Yeah,
I think that's the first real hug he's given that kid. So he knew enough to comfort him and also manipulate him at the same exact time. It's so mixed up.
it is. It is, and we still have so many questions about Oz and his family, and you know his brothers and stuff. So it's like to see him have that kind of like that kindness to him. Just it just makes me question a lot. I'm just so curious, and I feel like there's a lot of questions that have yet to be answered where we're at. You know, so I
Exactly.
mean, you know, I feel like after the few episodes that we've had to see him show any type of affection like that, not you know obviously he's shown some affection to Eve, but that's a little different. But to you know show it to Victor in a more of like a big brother, you know, fatherhood type of way, you know, it's definitely it felt odd. It felt odd, but I kind of I enjoyed the human side of it. You know what I'm saying? Because we've seen him do some sick shit, so it was definitely an interesting change of pace.
Yeah, I mean, I think the thing I can say about episode 6, it was eventful, dude. Like from the beginning all the way to the end, because at the end of the day, when Eve gave up Oz's location, I was kind of like, oh, okay, we'll wait until they lead us into,
Mhm.
you know, the mom. I can't remember if she woke up because the power got turned back on because, you know, Oz did it.
Mhm.
And, you know, the music was playing and
It was
Victor was
beautiful,
like
dude.
scrambling. He was like, I'm going to turn it off. He's like, no. Let me listen to it. And then she was like, can we dance?
Yeah, the
And
way she got up, man, that was so cute, dude.
it
The
was,
actress is just
she's a
phenomenal,
sweetheart.
man.
She's a sweetheart. She's a
Yeah.
beast, though, bro. Like
Oh my god,
her.
yeah, the switch is just amazing. Like when she wants to put on her big dog face, bro, she's not playing. But at the same
Oh,
time, that little old lady thing she's doing, bro, she's killing it. Like, but the switch, the range she's showing, and then the snap that she'll have, and then she'll like kind of be in a whole nother place. I
yep.
mean, like this act, like the acting in this show is next level, and I think one of my some of my favorite performances in a DC project as a whole.
Yeah, it was. I think the thing about it is when they were doing the dancing scene, we all were listening. It was like, wait, you hear that? And they don't show anything. They just do a
Yeah,
small, slow pan.
I thought you were going crazy. I'm gonna be completely honest because I didn't even hear anything right away because I think I was like, "Oh, that's so cute." So I missed the like the bump or whatever, and you were like, "Did you hear that?" I'm like, dude, just enjoy the dancing. It's cute.
Look,
And then all
no,
of a sudden, you see her in the doorway. I'm like,
look.
no.
My dad instincts kicked in, right? There's times I might be like in my bed and I hear something. I'm like, oh snap, let me go and check and see what's going on. Like that was noise. And so when they panned out and they saw the freaking door,
Yep.
and I was just like, and then they cut the episode. I was like, come on, bro. Like when
Yeah.
you guys watch this, I know you guys are gonna be as irritated as we were. We wanted to immediately watch the next episode.
Mm-hmm.
But it was a great episode. I really enjoyed episode 6.
For sure. Me too.
Yeah. What's your rating for it?
Solid A. Again, it's been fantastic.
You've given this every single episode has been an A. Like the last time you gave an A for every episode was Shogun, I think.
I'm
that was the
enjoying
last
it,
time.
man. I mean, it like again, it's not like they're delivering a lot of action, but that's not really what I expected with this show. I'm getting
Yeah.
what I wanted. I'm getting a thriller. I'm getting a crime show. I'm getting a mafia gangster type show, man. Like the vibes that this show is giving it's pretty cool, and it just makes me happy knowing that I can recommend this show to other people without them being like, "Oh, is it a superhero show?" It's like, what if it fucking is? Like, what's your problem? You know? But like, at the end of the day, the fact that they are making it, they're handling this so well. It's standing on its own. The lack of mentions, for Batman, I feel like is helping the series in a way. Again, I would love an appearance. I would love the mentions, but I feel like they're making it for everyone, and I'm really loving that because anyone
So
can just turn this on and not be like not feel like they have to watch 30 other movies or feel like they have to do a whole bunch of other shit, in order to enjoy this.
yeah, I would agree. I give it an A. Phenomenal episode. Killer lead off cliffhanger. The only thing that I'm questioning at this point is within 2 years or a year, can't remember now, when we do get the Batman, because we've been in this world for a whole season where it is completely MA, completely rated R, like it's like say we see Oz again in the Batman 2,
For
like
sure.
his verbiage and language is not going to be the same. He's not going to be dropping F-bombs everywhere like
Yeah.
in a feature film. It's just I don't know how Matt Reeves is going to approach that. Like, is he going to have like a rated R version
But
of
that's the thing. I don't think that they need to because I feel like Oz is getting to the point where he's a big dog. Like Carmine was involved in the first movie, but obviously like it wasn't like he was, I don't know how to explain it. I feel like it'd be more than enough to have him kind of in the background just pulling the strings and then because obviously they're not going to make him the main guy. They're not going to make him the main villain. So
no?
it'd just be interesting to have him doing some side work and then he doesn't need to be involved heavily. So the minimal screen time that he will have, it's fine if he doesn't, cuss every other word, because just depending on what like the context is of the scene. Because obviously, if he's getting chased, if he's getting threatened, if he's doing some shit, obviously it's in his character to say what he, is whatever he wants to say. But
Right.
it definitely depends on the context that he appears in. But I think they can make it work if they don't, But I just don't want it to feel like one of those things where they're clearly nerfing his dialogue. You know what I'm saying? So it's gonna be tricky. But they've done so well with what we've seen already. I'm not too worried about that little aspect of it.
Yeah, I don't know if you've been feeling this since we've been watching the show. I have this like really strong feeling to go back and watch the Batman.
Oh,
I'm
yo,
not even
me
gonna lie
too.
to you.
Me too. But to be fair, all of the like this might be the first day, but every single time we've watched this, it's always super late. So it's like crap. I can't watch it right now because I got work in the morning. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? But
right.
when it's a weekend or whatever, because the next day is usually Monday, this is coming out every Sunday, so the Monday, I gotta wake up, I gotta be, ready. But I'm just most of the days are watching this. I'm like, I gotta make sure I get sleep. But today might be the day I watch the Batman again.
But you heard it here first, you guys. We both gave it an A. Phenomenal episode. Go and check out all of our spoiler discussions that we have for every single episode. Yeah, it's been freaking great. Busy, where can everybody find your content?
Y'all can find me Busy Brown basically everywhere. Busy Reactions on Instagram. Show some love on the TikTok, if you will. We just hit 100K. Awesome stuff. If you want to see more reactions of just me, but also my boy Sam, we're all over the place. Ronan Unchained channel, Ronan's on my channel, Sam's on my channel. We got a whole bunch of content coming out. Of course, with the Penguin, it's airing with a whole bunch of other shows. So we have a lot of content. We're bouncing from I'm covering Daryl Dixon as well as this. So we're going back and forth week by week. So go check out our Daryl Dixon reviews as well as our my Daryl Dixon reviews on TeamJVS and my reactions over on Busy Brown. Yeah. It's like so weird to talk.
Yeah, you guys, we're also doing Rings of Power. We're gonna be having a review coming out for a show called Outlast on Netflix. We probably will do a review for Twilight of the Gods with Zack Snyder. Got somebody going and covering Terminator Zero. So it's a lot. You got a lot of content coming your way. We'll talk to you guys later. Peace, people.